Hi everyone, William Weyser is back. Last part, I talked about things 1 through 3 on my last message video before my birthday list. And now I'm ready to talk about some more things. Number 4. 9 How to Rock Days. For those who don't know about this, How to Rock was a short-lived Nickelodeon show about a lady named Casey Simon, played by Stephanie Miller, who was originally the leader of this girl band called the Perfs. And then she suffers from problems with her eyes and teeth, and she ends up with braces and glasses based on a book called How to Rock Braces and Glasses, which was the original name for the show, but then that got changed to the pilot episode, and then just How to Rock became the full title of the actual show. And so because of this, Casey's former bandmates dump her, and now she becomes the lead singer of this band called Gravity 5. The show only lasted 25 episodes before it got canceled, and I'm still mad at David M. Israel for announcing it, and I was like, I wanted it to keep going. Like some other Nickelodeon shows that I liked watching in the early 2010s. And also for those of you wondering specifically about 9 How to Rock Days, well, speaking of Stephanie Miller, tomorrow is her birthday. And a few years ago, I found out that Stephanie Miller was born 8 days before I was. I'm dead serious about this. And the advantage that she has over me is that she was born 8 days before I was. But the advantage that I have over her is that I'm the older sibling, while Stephanie is the younger sibling. I'm the older brother of Sammy Weyser, while Stephanie is the younger sister of Romeo Miller, who, other than the fact that he's a singer, I know nothing about him. And I want to know, more insight about him, aside from singing and having a younger sister. Now, for 9 How to Rock Days, what I'm doing is that I'm doing 9 days of the Boobas Dancing to How to Rock songs that I haven't done yet. And the songs that I'm about to mention are the ones that I did already, and those are disqualified. They are Only You Can Be You, which is the theme song for this show, Rock With Me, How You Do It, Move With the Crowd, one that I just did today called Deck the Halls, which is the Christmas How to Rock song, as well as How to Rock's last ever song. And don't confuse Deck the Halls, this version, with the classic Christmas song and a bad 2006 Christmas movie of the same name that stars Danny DeVito and Matthew Broderick. And I've never even heard of it until the Nostalgia Critic reviewed it last year. It's one of the many movies like that as an example, where until the NC reviewed it, I've never even heard of that movie. And there are some warm-up dances to a song that Stephanie would do a few years later or after How to Rock got canceled called Drippin', And there are some warm-up dances that I did already and some that I haven't done yet, so I'm going to give those a chance. And going back to Only You Can Be You, I assume that seeing a video where Siponique plays the guitar and sings that song, I'll think about that and give it a free pass. So that's how 900 Rock Days work. That's how 900 Rock Days works, and hopefully these days, from her birthday to my birthday, will know how to rock. Number 5. Characters looking at the viewers' examples. Going back to part 1, I talked about insights that all the characters must have, or else they'll be just completely empty. And my character is no exception, except that he is confident, that he wants to know something about the other members of the team, in the same way that I want to know about things from the other main cast members in our movie. So, an example of insights that I asked shortly before I went on that trip was, what games do you play? And in part 1, I said checkers, chess, Candyland, Chutes and Ladders, Twister, Simon Says, Red Light, Green Light, Wii games, PlayStation, Uno, any card game. And for me, some games that I like playing are board games, card games, DVD games, Wii games, handheld games, and many other games like that. And I know that Rick basically asked me before I went off for that trip, the games that I have the games I have written down under the "what games do you play" question were the types of games that he wants to play and likes playing. As for the other 5, I want to know what games you like playing, and I'll ask you other insight questions as well. And that's an example of insight that the viewers want to know about the characters, because it's either going to be full of insight or full of emptiness. I'm going with the full insight. Number 6. More of Rick's collections. Knowing that next year I'm going to see a lot of Rick's video and DVD collections, considering that I said earlier that he has almost every Thomas and Friends DVD from seasons 1 to 11, and he has a softer spot for it in the same way that I have a softer spot, or a soft spot, for Teletubbies. But that's not the only collection that he has. He also has a collection of the toys that he has, I think. And he also has a collection of shirts. And the color shirts that he has are red, orange, yellow, green, blue, dark blue, aka indigo, purple or violet, burgundy or maroon, pink, brown, black, white, gray, and whatever other random colors that Rick has for his shirts. So when I see his collections of things around his house next year, it's going to be very, very big. Number 7. the shows and things me and Rick are watching and doing in Florida. Some of the things that we're doing are going to Walt Disney World and, of course, making our movie. The shows that we're watching are things that interest the both of us. And ever since 2000, either 18 or last year, or even in 2019, I'm not sure. yeah, it's last year. Rick has been very sensitive toward his two not as cup of tea shows, and they're my top two favorite game shows. But I'm still going to keep the promise that I will not watch those two shows because of his sensitiveness towards them. And with bad experiences about them, he hasn't forgiven them for that. In the same way that a few years ago, I've had bad experiences with the phrase category. And because of those, I've disliked that category and and never forgave it since then. High point of my day, you're gonna pay for this! As well as Above the Fray and Plug the Gap and other puzzles. And it's not just the phrase category, it's others that just make me be all mad. And in the same way, I'll move on from there and talk about other shows. In the same way that while Rick is sensitive towards those shows, I'm sensitive towards my most disliked Nick Jr. character. Because when I was little, I saw a video of her, Dora the Explorer, talking about a piñata, and no joke, this is her in the real world. And right when the birthday kid whacks the piñata, and I feel bad for that kid, or at least this kid is now an adult. Either way, I feel bad for this person, and I cried because the piñata got whacked, and that was the last that I ever saw of that video, and I went from liking her to not liking Dora, even if Blue's Clues was far ahead of it. And that's not the only character that is disqualified from being in our movie. A lot of PBS Kids fans have been hating on Caillou because he is a whiny brat. And he's about as equally as whiny and annoying as DW from Arthur. And I'm like, to all you people who don't like Caillou, don't worry, he's not going to be in our movie. Because it'll be full of smart people. People that know what they're doing. DW, the only way that I'll allow her to be in this movie is if I teach her a lesson that she can't win everything. Or to be nicer to Arthur and to Arthur's friends. And DW's friends also. So, that's it for... Okay, yeah, and also Dot, because she scared me when I was little. Not allowing her in it whatsoever. So, that's it for part 3. The next part will be the fourth and last part in this message video. See you then.